All right, let's try something a little different today. What if I told you we could learn 5 really powerful new words just by following one guy through the absolute strangest day of his life? Yeah, forget boring old definitions. Today, we're going to dive right into a story.
So let's meet our main character. This is Mr. Pankaj Duty. And, he's a real pillar of his community, a super respectable guy. But his entire world is about to get turned completely upside down. And it all starts with one very, very strange event.
Okay, so every strange day has to have a beginning, right? And the start of the respected Mr. Duty's very weird day, well, that's what brings us to our very first word.
And that word is prologue. A prologue is basically the introduction, right? It's the setup that lays the groundwork for everything that's about to happen. You can think of it like the preamble to the main event. We are definitely not at the end, the epilogue, just yet. For our friend Mr. Duty, this whole thing is just getting started.
So, for the respected Mr. Duty, the prologue to all his problems wasn't some big dramatic speech or anything. Nope, it was just a single, incredibly confusing notification that popped up on his phone. This was the opening act of his very, very unusual day.
So that one little notification was the prologue, sure. But what it actually said, well, that was completely baffling. It threw Mr. Duty right into what you'd call an abstruse dilemma.
I mean, you've got to be wondering, right? What on earth did that notification say that was so confusing? Well, its very nature leads us right into our second word for today.
Abstruse. Now, this is a fantastic word. It's for something that's just really difficult, maybe even impossible to understand. Think of words like cryptic or arcane, stuff that seems deliberately mysterious. And the total opposite? That'd be something clear or lucid. And believe me, this notification Mr. Duty got was anything but clear.
And yeah, this lays it out perfectly. Mr. Duty's message was way over on the abstruse side of the scale. It was definitely cryptic, not clear, complicated, not lucid. You can just imagine him staring at his phone, completely and totally bewildered.
That kind of confusion, it really takes a toll on you. And as poor Mr. Duty was wrestling with this totally abstruse message, you could see the stress starting to show right on his face. And that brings us to our next word.
Angular. Now, this word can mean a couple of things. It can describe something with, sharp corners. But it can also describe a person's appearance, when they look kind of thin and bony. So instead of looking full and healthy, they might seem lean or even scraggy. It's pretty much the opposite of those soft, pleasant features you might normally see.
And that is exactly what was happening to Mr. Duty. It's like the stress of this whole thing was just carving away at his face, making his normally pleasant features look sharp, angular. I mean, the worry was literally changing how he looked.
So what was going on here? What was in this abstruse message that was making Mr. Duty's face so angular? Well, get ready for this, because the truth is, it's almost too strange to believe.
And I am not kidding, the accusation was he was being sued for allegedly whispering state secrets to pigeons. Yes, pigeons. And that ridiculousness perfectly sets up our fourth word.
Frivolous. This word just perfectly describes something that has zero seriousness to it. It's trivial, it's foolish, you could even say it's paltry. It is the absolute opposite of something important or eminent. It just has no real weight to it at all.
So, let's be clear. This lawsuit was the dictionary definition of frivolous. I mean, whispering secrets to pigeons? That is such a foolish, trivial accusation to throw at a respected man like Mr. Pankaj Duty. It's completely absurd. But here's the thing. Even something absurd can be dangerous. And that idea leads us right into our final and maybe most important word of the day. Because even a completely frivolous claim, no matter how silly it sounds, carries a very real, very serious threat to someone's good name.
Defamation. So what is it? It's the action of damaging a person's good reputation. And we're not just talking about criticism here. This is stuff like slander, vilification, even character assassination. These are heavy-duty accusations, the total opposite of the acclaim or praise that a good reputation usually earns you.
And that right there is the real danger in our story. See, even a totally frivolous lawsuit about pigeons could still lead to the defamation of Mr. Duty. You know the saying, mud sticks, right? A public accusation, no matter how ridiculous, can seriously harm a reputation that someone spent their whole life building.
But let's wrap up Mr. Duty's story, shall we? Okay, so the prologue to his whole problem was that abstruse message. That message made his face angular with worry. But because the lawsuit was just so obviously frivolous, it really didn't pose any real threat of defamation. So in the end, the good reputation of the respected Mr. Pankaj Duty was totally secure.
And there you have it, the story of Mr. Duty's incredibly strange day. We just followed 5 words, from prologue all the way to defamation, on a complete little journey. And it kind of leaves you with one last thing to think about, doesn't it? How can just a single, well-chosen word completely change how you see a situation, a person, or even an entire story?